gonna do? Who you gonna be? Where you gonna go? What you gonna choose? What's it gonna be? Gotta find a vision. You gotta make a big decision. So what you gonna do? What you gonna choose? What's it gonna be?
When you leave school, you're at a crucial crossroad where you need to make important decisions that have life-changing consequences. Got your matric? Now what? In To Be or Not To Be, we explore career options and help you answer those tricky questions.
So what you gonna do? What you gonna choose? What's it gonna be?
I'm a learner, wondering what I'll do when I finish school. The choices are limitless and very daunting. To begin with, I thought I'd investigate the field of accountancy, find out what it's all about, and what kind of journey I can expect. I met up with an accountant, Mzinko Nyeni, who allowed me a window into his world as I spied on him at his work for a few days.
Morning, it's 8 o'clock, just come in. I have some stuff to do, bit of reports that I have to redo for the CEO. Yesterday I submitted my report. Now I have to do some changes on that, and then got a bit of busy day or week because I was away for almost 2 weeks on study leave due to my exams, so I've got a bit of a backlog, but nothing that I can handle though. I think this is what this job is all about and what studying and working is all about. Cheers.
So far, so good. Sounds interesting. Back to the task at hand. Before I plunge into the requirements of accountancy, I think I need to answer the question, what is an accountant? What do they actually do?
A lot of people have a misconception that bookkeeping is accounting, so that they associate bookkeeping with a boring grey suit. So bookkeeping is such a small aspect of accounting. The range of accounting, we have 4 main core subjects, which is financial accounting with taxation, auditing, and then we have management accounting and finance, which is what I lecture. So those are the 4 main competencies.
Broadly speaking, an accountant provides services relating to the financial dealings of organizations and individuals. They put systems in place for reporting on financial activities, draft financial reports, prepare tax returns, advise on taxation problems, and deal with profit budgets and forecasts, such as, if this company carries on the way it's been going, then what will it look like and how much will it be worth in 5 years? Okay, this might be the field for me. Let's check in on MZ again.
Today, the plan will be, Mondays are just project meeting days. So we're having meetings, the project team, to get an update on how far our projects are.
So, if I was to study accountancy, what qualifications are required?
At the UWC, we have 2 qualifications. The one is the CA qualification, which is a BCom accounting degree qualification you will study, and that's the one if you want to become a chartered accountant. And then we have the BCom financial accounting qualification. That's if you want to become a professional accountant. The one that's marketed most is the CA qualification. So in order to qualify for that, you need to have English at level 5, maths at a level 5 as well, and then accounting at level 5. You don't have to have accounting at high school, but if you don't have accounting, you need to have maths at level 6.
That's for the 3-year degree. For the 4-year degree, it's just 1 level down. Maths and English, level 4, but accountancy, still level 5.
And then for the BCom financial accounting qualification, it's the same. It's again maths level 4, accounting level 4, and then English level 4 as well. Those are the basic prerequisites. Remember, we can only accommodate, I think in first year, about 400 students. Those are like your entry level. So if you want to make sure you're in the 400, you want to be getting, at least 1 level, so like maths level 6, level 7, so that you make sure I'm way above those requirements so that you can get in.
One can also do a diploma for which one needs maths and English level 4 and accountancy level 5 to qualify. I tracked down a student from UWC, Xolile. His good grades set him up well, or so he thought.
When we first came, I was like, okay, I got nice marks in high school, so okay, I know I'm a good student, but when the first test, we wrote a first small test for accounting, when the marks came out, they weren't that good. So from then, that's when I thought, no, I really need to work very hard. But there's a lot of disappointments and stuff. Back in high school, accounting was all numbers, calculate this, calculate that kind of. But when I came here, I was like, yo, it's very different because you get 100 marks and then 55 marks is just discussion.
There's going to be a time where, especially you come from high school and you're this A student, B student, all of a sudden you get D's and C's, and a lot of people can't handle that. And so to be able to pick yourself up and be self-motivated, I think that's very important.
I've been able to realize my potential because like I come from a very poor school, like back in the Eastern Cape. So when I first came here, I doubted myself, but when I came here, then I was able to realize that, hey, I can actually do this.
Okay, so I qualify. As Xolile said, it's going to be hard. Let's see what Mzi's day is looking like so far.
Now it's time to go home. It's 5 o'clock. It's been a very hectic day because it has been project meeting day, so spend most of the time with the project team. And this is one of the things that I enjoy about this job, working with the teams which are on the ground, because that is when you can understand what is going on the company, and that is when you'll be able to put measures in place on making sure that the company is financially sustainable.
What's the best way to deal with university life? What makes a successful student?
If you meet the requirements, you have the aptitude to attain the qualification. But then on top of just meeting the requirements, there are certain things. So for instance, you have to, we all say work hard, but working hard isn't necessarily I'm spending hours. For me, it's more working smart.
A successful accounting student is a student who manages time effectively and makes sure that what the person does is aligned to the person's goal. An unsuccessful accounting student is somebody who's over-involved in all kinds of things and has lost focus on what matters. So perhaps be involved in a society, in a field trip, in all kinds of extramural activities. They need to somehow be aligned to the student's goals, perhaps personal goals, perhaps academic goals, but it's important to focus on what matters.
Working smart, I think especially at a third year level, and when you do postgrad, you need to be more of a critical thinker, not just accepting what me as the lecturer tells, but actually asking why, because in the test or exam, we have professional exams where you're going to be thrown in a situation that you've never seen before, and if you don't understand why something happens, then you're going to be bombed out in the question.
You have to put in a lot of effort, but then sometimes you just find that your effort wasn't, like you don't get what you expected from putting that much effort back, yeah. So mostly the marks are not what you expected.
When they fail or when they have a bad mark, it's very hard for students, particularly account students. They're usually very good learners, very good performers. It's very hard for them to see that something hasn't worked well. I think what we expect of students is really a tall order around, we want them to change behaviors and change attitudes. And just because one is a good learner and a good student at school doesn't mean people are good at changing their behaviors. So we want students to change behaviors and adjust in their first year. That's very important. And some people need longer for that than others. Taking longer for an adjustment doesn't mean one is not good at accountancy, or doesn't mean one is not a good student. If somebody fails an assignment or a term or whatever, a year even, shouldn't derail from the overall longer term goals.
It is difficult. There's a reason why CAs get paid a lot of money, because it's difficult to get the qualification, but it is doable, and it does require hard work, and I mean it goes with all courses. It's 7 years to get the qualification, but then your rest of your life is ahead of you, so the sacrifice for 7 years is definitely worth it.
But in 7 years? No ways. That's not gonna come cheap. Lucky for us, there are a number of bursaries available in South Africa. But first, what's up with Mzi?
All those times go home now. Yeah, it's been okay. They've been busy with this and that. I wish you could hear the background. One of my colleagues is listening to Brenda's memes and she's singing along. I was very surprised on that. That's how the type of people I work with. Very crazy. But I think that's what they make coming to work fun.
Alright, bursaries. In South Africa, we're very lucky to have a lot of bursaries for students wanting to study accounts, such as SAICA, the South African Institute for Chartered Accountants, who provide amazing bursaries for accounting students.
SAICA has an initiative called the Tutuka Bursary Fund, and if students are on the Tutuka Bursary Fund, all of the costs of studying are paid, including textbooks, food, accommodation, study fees, etc. And they also have specific tutorials that's set aside for them and additional support as well.
There are many more bursary providers, such as NSFAS, National Student Financial Aid Scheme, REAP, Orbis Foundation, and many more. Search online. The double bonus of most bursaries is that once you're done studying, you're likely to get a job with the bursary provider. Cool. If you have the marks, especially in maths, then it won't be difficult to find a bursary. Okay, what happens next?
After you've completed a 4-year degree, generally candidates do their traineeship, and it would be a 3-year traineeship.
This practical training after your degree is called doing your articles.
After that, basically, once you're in a 3-year traineeship, you write 2 qualifying exams. One is called the ITC and one is called an APC. That runs concurrently normally with your traineeship. Once you completed those, traineeship's the practical component, and you would be signed off as a CASA if you are found competent in both.
A chartered accountant called a CA is the highest professional qualification in accounting in South Africa, and CAs are very needed in the job market. What other skills will help?
Quantitative skills. They would also need good communication skills, and they would need analytical skills. The job market is competitive, but because of the scarcity of skills in the accountancy profession, it is less competitive than other occupations' job markets.
Where to find work? Well, most companies need the services of accountants. Every business needs one. You can join registered firms of chartered accountants, start your own private practice, or become an academic lecturing at universities and colleges. Many entrepreneurial accountants start their own businesses. Mostly, you're in your office with colleagues in front of a computer, engaging with clients who require your services. Over to Mzi.
It's a Friday today, casual day, you can see. Wearing my Tanzania native t-shirt, sweater, that is where I come from, Tanzania. Township in East London, famous for boxing. I think still the second biggest township in South Africa. So today I'm representing them. So yeah, I'll just take it slow today, it's a Friday anyway.
I think the most satisfaction I get at my workplace is just the engagement with people. The fact that I get a strong sense of impact and influence over change. So it's nothing prepares you for any day.
That's Mani Regal, Executive Director of Finance and Services at UWC.
I think the challenges that the accountants typically experience is that they are very focused on debits and credits or compliance, and the real world is not about that only. It is about how do you fit into the business world, and how do you make the business world a better place, and how do you add value to that. I think people skills is a big issue over the years of all the interviews that I've undertaken, or a serious issue that I pick up is that accountants do not look broader and only find over the years that the world is bigger than just their field. So it comes with lots of ego. What employers look for is authenticity, and for whether or not people can apply their minds, apply judgment, use discretion, work within frameworks, but be broader than just what they know as a typical accountant.
It's up to you, that you don't have to only sit and focus on the accounting side of the business. If there's other things that the companies are doing, if they have project managers on the side, just get involved on the project management side to understand and see where you can fit in your accounting expertise, not only just to focus on sitting there and reconciling the bank, doing salaries. That will become boring. So you just have to be open-minded to also just help around the office.
And it's not just for the bottom line, it is also for how you can improve on business processes, how you can make people feel better, and to break through our quiet strength that we have as accountants, because it's a highly skilled area, and often we don't realize the power and strength that we have because we're confined to our own field.
Accountants are one of the highest earners, not only in South Africa, but around the world, with very attractive salary packages, benefits, and overall, very good prospects. There are currently over 30,000 accountants in South Africa, and many more are needed from all backgrounds to fill the gaps. According to Payscale.com, the beginning salary for a South African accountant is 490,000 Rand per year. Yeah, that's worth studying for.
I like providing solutions. I like dealing with numbers. If I sit back and then I look at what I've done, the report that usually I have to present to my bosses, and then they give me a thumbs up that we've done a good work. That is satisfying to me. When we're starting to work, we always dream about getting those big jobs, big salaries and everything, but you must be able to just sit and then focus and say, okay, this is where you should learn, and then not be afraid to start at the bottom, because that is where you actually learn. As time goes on, you build up the experience, and that when you come to those higher position, you know what is expected from you. So that is what I've also learned from my journey, from being a training accountant now to where I am, because I've just managed to get my foundations and the basics correct.
I think the biggest challenge that accountants face is that they fit into the role of the stereotypical accountant, which is very, very closed up. And I think they have so much energy to project. And if only they can set themselves free and be true to themselves, I think they will change this world and make this world a better place.
It's been a lot to take in. I'm really excited about the possibilities and opportunities in accountancy in South Africa. Good luck with your decisions.
Almost time to go home. It has been a long week. Yeah, that's how tough it is to work and study. Hopefully one day it'll be all worth it. See you next week.
So what you gonna do, what you gonna choose, what's it gonna be?